Yeah.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, John, we can hear you clearly.
Thank you.
Best of luck, Deepa.
Attention to everybody.
Thank you.
Am I clear? I'm going to try without the headset for the first time.
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear. Hi, Bidu.
Hi, hi Deepa, long time. Good to see you.
Hi, Bidu.
Hi.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Club meeting number 562. We also welcome our distinguished guests today. You're all most welcome. Now, we have a good news for you that June 8th, the lot of relief we will get from the government going and attending the places like our venue also. I hope it is possible. Toastmaster Vivek has to give the clearance of this issue. However, I hope we can in our meeting of 8 or at least 15th in our venue. Now, coming to the cardinal rules, we have 3 cardinal rules. One is a political subject, second one is and third one is religion. We cannot speak on the subjects. So, ladies and gentlemen, our president he is working like a clock. So the minute he connects to us, that is the minute of the meeting. Then rest of the day, he gathers so many informations. He joins other clubs. He brings the people from all over the globe. That is to say, we are connected to the global members also, which is a great thing that our president is doing. All these things, he is struggling hard to make our club as a distinguished club with full strength, so that we may be able to attain a very good perfection during his days of presidency. Now, let us welcome our president, Mr. Srinu Babu, who is a very, very great personality of our club with all sorts of knowledge and understanding and how to drive the club, every knowledge he has. Let us welcome with a great applause to Mr. Srinu Babu, our Toastmaster. Srinu Babu, please welcome. Hello.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. Rising Toastmasters and brilliant guests, a very good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. With all your presence, I call to order meeting number 562 open. Now, hope you and your loved ones are safe and healthy in this lockdown situation. Before proceeding further, now I would like to request our secretary, Milind to read out the minutes of the meeting of the last meeting.
Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, Milind. We can hear you.
May 25th, 2020, Monday. Meeting number 561 was sparkling, dazzling, rousing, and an avant-garde meeting in a real sense. We had role takers, evaluators, not only from other clubs from within the city, Bangalore, but also other cities from India, like 2 members from Toastmaster Hyderabad were there. From Bangalore, we had Bangalore Toastmasters, we had Amadeus Toastmasters Club. And the grammarian of that meeting had come all the way from Pretoria, South Africa. Besides, there were participants from Eastbourne Speakers Club, UK, and from Hong Kong, and from Latin America. The entire meeting was spellbound, and the best performers were declared as the best speaker, Toastmaster Deepa, best role taker, Toastmaster Vinay, all the way from Hyderabad, best evaluator, Toastmaster Rahul Jain, also from Hyderabad, best tag player, Toastmaster Fiddle from South Africa, and best global topic speakers were shared by 2 gentlemen, Taz Ramai Bharmal, Taz Barmal from Eastbourne Toastmasters Club, UK, and Toastmaster Yasmin Sansis. Besides, there were other role takers like Toastmaster Joseph as our Sergeant of Arms, the presiding officer, and the general evaluator, Toastmaster Milind, yours truly. The Toastmaster of the day was our President, Sinu Babu. Timer was Toastmaster Ashwin. Our counter was Ashwini, and other evaluators like Toastmaster Vikram, Toastmaster Vandana, and Toastmaster Chinmay. Overall, the meeting was awesome. With this, I hand it over to our President, Toastmaster Srinu Babu. Over to Srinu Babu.
Thank you. Thank you, Milind. So, if you have any amendments, please reach out to Milind Kulabkar. So far, we didn't receive anything. So, ends the minutes of the meeting declared as passed. Yeah, we have so many brilliant guests joined today, like Bidu Das, Danya, and Jenny. John Khalid is a GE today, and our beloved member Shannon is back with full power packed energy, and one more guest, Sanchan. Yeah, thank you, my dear guests, for decided to spend your valuable time with us. My dear members, how do we welcome our brilliant guests? Give a big round of applause. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Moving on, today the theme is be a winner of the life. So, how many of you want to winner of your life? I want to share a small story. Of course, everyone want to be a winner. There is a boy just 13 years old. He is on stage 4 cancer, lying on the bed. Doctor visited. We tried all the ways. This boy has just 14 days. Let him enjoy his last 14 days. And parents took the boy, and he's just time passing that 14 days. And rest is history. He went through different surgeries, and he lost the lungs also. Somehow he survived that cancer, that stage 4 cancer. And again, at the age of 17, again something critical cancer, again it came. Again he collapsed. I thought this is the end of his life. Again he went through so many surgeries, and still, since that boy is so toughest, he survived again. And that's it. Rest is history. And today, that gentleman is declared the most toughest person in the whole history. He is voted across the globe. He is the none other than Shan. Anyone knows the story? Shan's story? Okay, all right. This he is the most inspirational and motivational. He is also author. He is none other than Chance Warner. He is the only person survived from cancer, and he claimed all the peaks in all the 7 continents. And my dear friends, my question is, what you want to be in your life to be a winner? As I mentioned in my earlier speeches, at very end, when we look at our life, complete life, make sure you never regret whatever choice you are taking today. Why? Because today choice, it will make you tomorrow. On that note, I'm moving further. I'm presenting a amazing personality. He decided he want to create winners across the globe, and he started first club in 1904. His name is Ralph C. Smedley. He tried a lot and he miserably failed. Again, he came back with full of determination in 1924. He started his first club. That's all. Today, you are sitting one among us 16,800 clubs. These clubs are mushroomed across the globe and it spread across 143 countries. Imagine the power of these Toastmasters. And today, currently, already 4 lakh people practiced, and currently 3,60,000 people still practicing. And my dear members, this is a non-profit organization. Utilize this opportunity and unlock your real potential in this lockdown situation. On that note, I am presenting a special person to run this meeting. Any meeting, any function, we need a special person, right? We call anchor in Toastmaster for Master Fraternity. We call Toastmaster of the Day. Today, I am presenting a special person. This person just joined 3 years back, and you know where he is today? He completed all the projects in Toastmasters in the traditional manner. Now, and he also a good leader. Why I am telling? He served as a president, VP education, and he is a mentor of so many amazing members. And his history is super amazing. And I asked, what is the impact Toastmaster created? And he said in one line, today I am comfortable myself wherever I am just because of this Toastmaster. It created a huge positive vibe in my life. On that note, please put your hands together to welcome today's Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Subhadeep Mukherjee. Over to you, Subhadeep.
Well, thank you, Srinu, for the kind words and the warm introduction. So let's begin the meeting with a big round of applause, everyone.
Yeah, guys, unmute yourself. Give a big cheer to our Toastmaster of the day. I want to see big cheer. Yes, over to you, Subhadeep.
Great. So the theme that we have for today's meeting is be a winner in life. But let me start today's meeting with 3 words: confusion, uncertainty, and diffidence. If you notice the 3 words, confusion, uncertainty, and diffidence, these 3 are entirely contrary to the theme of the meeting, which is being a winner in life. And the reason I have shared these 3 words is to understand, or is to target something. And the target that we are going to follow today is being a winner. So what is the target of today's meeting? Is to follow through and oblivious in order to terminate these 3 words from our life. Because the moment you have a confusion, the moment you have uncertainty, the moment you have a diffidence, you cannot take the right decision. And if you are not able to take the right decision, you cannot be a winner. You cannot be a champion in your life. In the entire course of life, we come across multiple situations wherein we try to emerge and be successful. And how can you be a winner in life? When I see multiple TED Talks, when I see multiple videos of winners, or let's say billionaires, I come across so many situations. I came across their life ideas. How have they become successful in life? And the three things which I have been able to narrow down in the course of life. The first one being reading. So every billionaire, let's say Bill Gates or let's say Ambani, if we talk about whichever leader or whichever successful person, one of the key traits of that person is reading, because readers are successful leaders. Or you can say reading is directly proportional to becoming a successful leader. That's number one. Second, and the foremost thing is believing in yourself. The moment you start believing in yourself, you will think that you are already two steps ahead. You're already exceeding your expectations. So it's very important to believe in yourself. According to various statistics done, we have come across, we have seen a data wherein people do not trust, do not have self-confidence, they do not believe in themselves once they come across a certain failure. But that's not right. The reason is you have to believe one unsuccessful attempt or one failure does not make you a failure in your entire life. We have seen so many leaders, they have failed so many times, but yet they have been successful. And finally, the third piece is setting up goals. Setting up goals for yourself, because goals are imperative to being a successful leader. Without having a proper goal in your life, you cannot expect to be a successful leader. So that's the third or the most important aspect of becoming a successful leader. So let's recap what the three things that I said, and I'll make it very simple for you guys. Three words, rather three alphabets. B-I-G. B for
Books.
right. I for believing in yourself, right? And G for setting up goals.
Goals.
So these are the three traits, these are the three objectives which we need to follow to become successful. Believe me, you'll come across multiple speeches, you'll come across so many leaders, they do multiple things. These are the three things which I have narrowed down for myself. And I'll not say that I have become extremely successful, but yet at least I'm trying to go down that path. With that being said, let's start on with the course of the meeting that we have today. And first of all, for the benefit of the guests, I'm just going to structure down a Toastmaster meeting. The first section that we're going to have today is called Prepared Speech. And what is a prepared speech? Like the name sounds, there are two speakers, two wonderful, amazing speakers we have today. They have prepared their speeches and they're going to deliver it on stage using the web meeting. That's the first section. Second, table topics or impromptu session. What are the table topic? It's an impromptu session wherein you have to think on your feet. We'll be giving you a certain topic. There is a respective table topic master. He's going to share a topic and you're going to speak on the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. Of course, the time and details will be shared in details by the respective role takers. And finally, my personal favorite section, which is called the evaluation section, wherein what happens, like the name sounds again, evaluation. A speech is given and there is a respective evaluator who's going to evaluate you or that person based on the speech that is being delivered. All right, with that being said, let's move ahead. Now, the very first section is prepared speech, like I said, but before a prepared speech, before anything happens, we need someone who is gonna take care, who's gonna evaluate and see how things have been going on through the entire meeting. Have we been on track? Have we taken care of timings? Are we using the proper nouns? Are we grammatically correct? So we have a leader, and that person is called the general evaluator or the GE. And for taking up that role or for being the general evaluator for today, we have a very special Toastmaster. His name is John Khalid, and I'll give a short introduction about him. He is an outgoing VP membership, an incoming president of MIM Toastmaster of Johor Bahru. And he has been a Toastmaster since April 2019, and he has been preparing speeches to finish level 5 of effective coaching. And he's a mentor of 2 proteges. And he will be finishing the mentor path in the next 2 months. So without further ado, let's give a big round of applause for the general evaluator for today, John Khalid.
Thank you. Do you wish me to speak or? Anyway. Do
Yeah,
you?
John, definitely. You can go ahead.
So
Yeah, John, you can go ahead.
I thought somebody was going to introduce the speakers, and then I will introduce the evaluators. Yeah.
So we follow a different trend. That's absolutely fine. You can go ahead and introduce the role players, and then we can go ahead with the speech section.
Okay. Okay. Right. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes.
The general evaluator, in the second half of the meeting, I will be evaluating the whole of the meeting. I will then be introducing the evaluators, and there are, of course, there's 2 speakers and there are 2 evaluators. And then I will be introducing the timer, the R counter, and the grammarian for the report at the end. And then I will report myself on the whole of the meeting. So I hand back to the Toastmaster of the day to introduce the speeches. Thank you, and back to you.
All right. All right. Thank you, John. So before I go ahead and introduce the speaker today, the prepared speech section, let me quickly go ahead and ask the auxiliary role players, the timer, to go ahead and introduce himself and explain us how he is going to keep track of the time.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Subhadeep. So we all know time is the voice. You are all of her may heard. Time is the wisest counselor of all, and we all go through oblivions of all time during the speech. So I am the timer of the day, and I will be keeping time record of your time. For prepared speeches for 5 to 7 minutes, I will be flashing or intimate you at 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and 7 minutes by showing green, yellow, and red slides. And for
Can you show? Can you show?
yeah, just a minute. Yeah, can you see? Can everyone see?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
like this way.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, now
will
it's very
call
visible.
green, yellow, and red as well for making sound like if you don't get the slides, so I will speak green, yellow, and red for prepared speeches, and for 5, 6, and 7 minutes. And for 15 minutes, 15 to 17 minutes of speeches, I'll say for 13, 14, and 15 minutes at green, yellow, and red slides. And I'll say
Subhadeep, I think Mayur's connection is gone.
Yeah, I think. All right.
You go ahead, Subhadeep.
So let's go ahead with the next. Yeah. So the next auxiliary role player that we have is the R counter. So why don't the R counter go ahead and introduce himself to the entire guest and the Toastmasters?
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests. Today I am the accounter in this meeting. As an accounter, I will be monitoring your CRPF. About CRPF, C stands for crunch words like R, etc. R represents repetitive words. P for pauses. Pauses are good by a good speaker, but unnecessary pauses disconnects the audience from the speech. So just avoid it. F for filler words like you know, I mean, okay, so, actually, basically, and right. So avoid this filler words to make your speech more effective. I will update my report to the general evaluator when I am called upon.
Thank you, Navya.
Thank you. And finally, the grammarian for today. Can you please go ahead and introduce yourself to the entire club? The grammarian for today.
Ashwini, I think has not joined. You want me to, has Ashwini joined?
No, I just checked. She's
Okay,
not joined us.
I'll go ahead. Okay, so is it okay if I go ahead, Subhadeep?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. So, we're all here to speak effectively and make use of good language. So, I'll be here to listen to what mistakes or certain not so great usages and good usages that we do. It is also my responsibility to introduce the word of the day. It's obliviscence. Obliviscence. So it's easier to break this word into two. It's oblive and sense. Okay. So it is the process of forgetting. And aptly in this lockdown, I would like to use this word by saying we are all going through the obliviscence, living life in a rush. So I will all give a thumbs up every time a speaker uses this word, and I'll give my report at the end of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Subhadeep.
Thank you. Thank you, Vandana, for taking the role on the fly. Really appreciate that. So now, so the first phase of the meeting would be the prepared speech. And before I call upon the speaker for today, I'm going to introduce the person's evaluator. So the evaluator for Milind is going to be Vandana. And a quick introduction about Vandana: she's an art lover, a dreamer, a chocoholic, and a very young mother. So with a big round of applause, let's welcome Vandana, who will be sharing the objectives of Milind's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Subhadeep. So for this, the speaker today is attempting his ACT Club's series presentation from the Success Communication series. How to Listen Effectively is the title of the speech. The objectives are to highlight to the audience and participants that listening is much more active than most people think, to demonstrate how to learn and practice receiving, organizing, and interpreting what is said, develop skill in active listening, learning how to avoid distraction, practice listening to understand. The timer, please note, the timing is 15 to 20 minutes. All the best to you, Toastmaster Milind. Over to you, Toastmaster Subhadeep.
Thank you, Vandana. So regarding the speaker, Milind, I've known Milind since I joined the Speech Weavers Club, and I've been part of at least 3 clubs till now in my entire journey of 3 years. And till now, I haven't met a speaker who is that energetic. Trust me, it really feels great to see Milind speak, not only as a speaker, but also taking up a different role. Like today, for example, you might have noticed Milind speaking on the secretary role, or whichever role in a Milind is off for. He really takes that on an entirely different level, and that's the best part which I really like about the speaker today. So the speaker, Milind, how to listen effectively. How to listen effectively, Toastmaster Milind.
Mayur, can I request you to remove that green? Because I can't see my own face. I can't see anyone. Green card, if you can remove it.
Yeah, I will remove. One second.
Now I can see everyone. I'll remove the timing, because then the moment those things come, no?
Yeah, now can you?
Again, the moment green comes, I have a challenge. Then I can see only you. I can't green and you. I can't see myself. I can't see anyone else. Just remove that green card, the timer's card.
Yeah, actually, this is from Mayur. His power got shut down, so
Yeah, to remove that. Because once just now it happened, again it comes back. Because I am totally.
Milind, yes, could you check if you can make yourself the presenter? There is an option in the other settings, the 3 dots, and then.
Vandana, I am not on laptop. I am on the mobile,
Oh,
so I have.
okay.
So I don't have facilities. Just requesting Mayur to remove that.
He's offline, so I think.
Yeah,
I think
you go ahead. You go ahead. I removed it.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I told you to bring a coriander. A coriander. And what you bought? Look, you bought a cauliflower. I wanted coriander to sprinkle as garnish over the veg biryani for our guest. Do you want me to smash this cauliflower and smash it on your ears? You never listen to me. I felt terrible. Coriander and cauliflower. I have been victim of such syndromes quite often. I felt terrible. I felt I let down my dear ones. What happens if my customers, my clients, or in my office, I do such things? It will meet with a disastrous consequences. It is because there is something terrible wrong in my hearing, or I need to listen properly. As I was being told, you never listen. My brilliant Toastmaster of the day, Subhadeep, my sparkling fellow Toastmasters, and my dazzling guest, were you a victim of such coriander and cauliflower syndrome? Good news is we all are victims of such syndrome. And better news is that we all can overcome this disorder if we want to. First of all, let us understand, why do we get entrapped in such situation and get embarrassed and sometimes even pay penalty for that? What are those causes? Well, as Sherlock Holmes said, it's elementary, Dr. Watson. Those causes are simple, elementary. Most of the time, we hear, we do not listen. There's a distinct difference between hearing and listening. Have you heard someone saying, you might be hearing me, but you are not listening to me? While hearing and listening may seem serving the same purpose, but the difference between two are fairly significant. As per definition, hearing is more to do with physiological act of, and at the same time, listening is more of a mental act. The clinical psychologist says the difference between the two is like night and day. Hearing is like collective data. The act of hearing is rather simple and basic. Listening, on the other hand, is three-dimensional. People that excel at work or in marriage or in friendship are the ones who hone their ability to listen. Don't you think you want to aspire to be a good leader in your own life, in your own thing? And obviously, you need to listen properly. Now, let us understand what are the causes which impede our listening. Number one, pseudo listening. Quite often, we go for a mental vacation. When our Toastmaster of the day introduced our general evaluator, and where he said he is from that particular place, I went for a vacation. I could recall my vacation in Malaysia and how I went to that island, crossing the same place from the general evaluator is coming. So I was on my own vacation, and suddenly I realized the general evaluator was saying something, but I was in Malaysia near the Cuban Islands. Quite often this to happen. We go on vacations, how many times? 1 or 2 times a year. But if we happen to go on vacation continuously, can we afford to do that? There we have a challenge. So that is one area. Something called mental vacation has to be, urge for mental vacation has to be curbed. That is one challenge. Number 2 challenge, selective listening. I'll listen to what I am interested in, and I'll shut my ears on which I hate, the topics, the subjects, which is not my cup of tea. As a kid, I could afford to do that. But when I go into my professional career, can I do that? Thanks to this lockdown, I need to unlearn myself, relearn myself. All my past experience has been washed out. So now I have to learn something which I used to hate. Statistics, details, analytics, which was not my cup of tea. So I had to inculcate myself. Next one, third point, distraction or moderation. Quite often, you may recall, as a Toastmaster, I also have this distraction. Whenever I hear an eminent speaker sing, and he's saying, actually, basically, kind of every second or third word, I get distracted. He must be a beautiful speaker. He's giving his points to the perfection. But just because he's making these undue pauses, I'm acting as an R counter. So I need to shut those botherations if I want to pay attention to him. Because I have to control my R counter role to listen to him properly. And as we had said, sometimes we must have played that game called Chinese whisper. Something is said in someone's ear, he passes on what he understood to someone else, and it goes for 10 to 15%. And thereafter, when it is revealed, it may be totally different. It must be totally humorous. It can be totally dangerous. And that quite often it happens in our personal life, in professional lives, and then we have to pay penalty for that. Now, what are those good things? What are the solutions? How we can overcome these barriers? Number 1, awareness. We need to be self-aware. After all, it's my duty to listen, because if I listen, I understand, I can decode, then I can take a decision whether I can agree or disagree. To get that option, I need to be aware of what is going on, who is the speaker, what is the scenario. So I need to be prepared for that, mentally and physically. While I'm sitting or standing, my posture should be correct. Only then I can be physically and mentally present over there. There are other distractions, like I may be tired, I may be feeling hungry, or maybe feeling sleepy. So how do I overcome? So I can come prepared for that. Lunch may be delayed, so I can carry something with me. Some almonds in my pocket, or some nuts with me. If I am thirsty, I can carry a flask. If I'm sleepy, I can carry a hot black coffee. So be prepared. Quite often, we see most of the meetings which we have, we see only for a couple of rows in the front will be empty. And from the 7th, 8th row, the audience are filled. Why? Because we feel if I sit in the front, I will be asked questions. I will be embarrassed. But question is, if you are sitting in the front, your attention span is directly toward the speaker. There is no distraction between you and the speaker. So it is very easy for you to connect. And if you sit in the last, obviously you can see different heads moving here and there. So anyway, there are a lot of distractions. And even for physically to hear, it becomes a challenge. And it has been noticed most of the time, the speaker, when he asks questions and the person raises hand, you invariably encourage the speaker sitting in the end to ask questions and not in the front. So it's a myth that if you sit in the front, you'll be questioned. No, it's other way around. In fact, you have much more liberty to understand what he says. Next one is how you can practice that you are interested. You can pay attention by nodding, appreciating what they're saying, a facial expression, even required showing a thumbs up where you agree, where you feel not so okay, you can just keep quiet. So by facial expression also, your mind, your body gets psychologically tuned to listen. Because you need to set a goal when you are going to hear a speaker that, okay, this is a speaker, I don't know what he is, but fact that I'm spending time over there, I need to listen to what he says and understand what he says. After understanding, it's my prerogative whether I agree with him or disagree with him. So I can have that option. So for that, this basic elementary objects has to be taken. In quite often we find, no, it's difficult for me to understand. I find it boring. Doesn't matter. There's an expression. You fake it. You show that you are interested. The moment you start doing that, your facial expression, that psychologically also your mind starts thinking, no, I should understand. I should understand. So obviously your entire universe is helping you to understand him. And you can even ask questions. There's nothing wrong if you say, okay, sir, this is what you said. Is this what you meant? So it becomes easy for you to understand. And in fact, the speaker also will be very encouraged to respond back to you. So these are the simple things. So while when we say to be an effective listener, how to listen effectively, obviously there has to be a communication. There has to be a sender on one hand. The sender is the person who creates the message, who is encoding. And at the other end has to be a receiver who is under no obligation to listen. But if he decides to listen, what can he do? He can physically hear it. He can mentally remove his physical barrier and mental fear barriers and try to understand and mentally decode that after understanding, then he can take a call whether to agree with what the speaker says or not to agree. In the corporate world, quite often there are mistakes happening because of that. Invariably, the teenagers who right from childhood, who are bombarded with questions from their parents, do this, do that, and they make it a mental habit of not to listen and to listen what they want. So they become very selective and they continue that practice even if they go into the corporate world and they choose what they want to decide. But that becomes an Achilles heel, that they may land up in bigger problems. And some of the teenagers, they continue with that all their professional life, and then they grumble even at their late age. When the age of retirement comes, that no one listened to me. I could not go in my leadership ladder. So this is what is important, critical for them. I'll just give a practical example. I have an office at a what we call co-working space. Thanks to COVID, I have stopped going there and I continue to pay the rent. So other day I went to there and met the manager. He welcomed me and I explained that however, way things are going on, I don't feel mentally and physically safe to come and work out of your office. Patiently listened to me. He understood. In fact, he repeated, yes, I appreciate that. He empathized with my concern. That yes, your financial challenges are there, your physical, your psychological, I fully understand. So he showed full empathy to me. Afterward, he said, then sir, one challenge I too have. I'm also facing similar problems. I too have my co-workers, my assistant who were serving tea, coffee to you. I have to pay their salary to run the rent of this office. How do I, if you want to leave, I cannot allow you to not pay that notice pay. I need to continue in case you decide not to continue, but the advance which you are paid for 6 months, I will not be able to give you back to you. So now I also understood his concern, but I felt happy after meeting him because he empathized with me. So this empathy is also very critical. So Toastmasters and my fellow guests, what do you think? Should you have an opportunity or option to decide on any views whether to agree or not? And if you want that option, obviously you have to hear, listen, and then take forward. So with this, I'm pausing. I'm throwing open to our question. Any one question anyone wants to have it on this topic? Otherwise, we'll close it.
How do you sustain your interest when the topic is very boring as an audience
Yeah.
or
So
as an evaluator?
Yeah. Now that depends on what in life there are certain things. Everything like as a teenager, we had that option. I'll do only what I like. Even we have been told that okay, you do what is your passion. But there are times when you have bread and butter to take care. It's not something called passionate, but that passion may not help you to get that. Whereas there are some other things which you felt is disinterested, but may get your bread and so that time you have to tweak your with these small things that mentally get prepared and then take it forward. Just try to think, okay, this is important to me, and I have that freedom and option whether I want to take this topic or not. But just at least listen. So you can also get a perspective from them. By getting that perspective, like in this my particular case, co-working space, I agreed to him, but I said, okay, I will not continue further, but do one thing. For next 6 months, whenever I want your video conference facility, I should get it free. He said, fair enough. I'll give you not only for 6 months, for 1 year. So that's a deal. So now I have that freedom. Whenever I have a board meeting or something, I can walk there and I will not be charged anything. Otherwise, I will not go. So that is something that it becomes, instead of getting confrontation, it becomes very easy to handle. So I'm just now closing for paucity of time. Quite often when we have customers, we have clients whom we want to host a dinner for them. We want to be a good host and we want to give him best what he wants. He may say, I would like to have a martini, shaken but not stirred. I take my martini stirred. But if I had not heard and not listened, that I should not stir but just shake, my James Bond would get disappointed and I may lose the client. So be careful. Listen to your clients, listen to everyone to ensure your relationship with everyone is successful. With this word to Toastmaster Day Subhadeep.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Milind, and thank you for enlightening us with the with the latest topic that you had. It was really interesting to hear what you just mentioned. So, moving ahead to our next speaker that we have for today. But before I go and introduce the speaker, I'd like to call upon our evaluator. And just give me one moment. Yeah. So the evaluator for Deepa's speech is going to be Yasmin. I'm going to share a quick introduction about her. So Yasmin has joined Toastmaster last year, and it's going to be a year in July, so it's not been that long. But yeah, it's absolutely perfect to have you with us in the meeting today. Yasmin is originally from Mexico City and currently living in Toronto, Canada. So Yasmin, why don't you go ahead and introduce or share the objectives of Deepa's speech?
Great, thank you so much, Toastmaster. From the Advanced Communication Series, Special Occasion Speeches Manual, Deepa will present assignment number 1, Mastering the Toast, with the title Raising a Toast for Milind on his ACG. The objectives for this project are to recognize the characteristics of a toast, to present a toast honoring an occasion or a person, and the time for this speech is from 2 to 3 minutes. All the best of luck, Deepa, and back to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Yasmin. So, about the speaker, Deepa, she has been a Toastmaster and for almost 2 years now, and she calls Speech Weavers Club as her second home. Currently, she is in quite a hurry to complete her advanced communication bronze and silver, and is a globe trotting virtually and entertaining international audience with her speeches. Currently, she's also serving as a VP membership of the club. So, without further ado, let's call upon the next speaker, who is Toastmaster Deepa. So, Toastmaster Deepa raising a toast for Milind on his ACG completion. Raising a toast for Milind on his ACG completion, Toastmaster Deepa.
I'd like to propose a toast. Today is such a very special. Today is a very special day for a very special person. Ladies and gentlemen, today Milind just completed his advanced communication gold. What an incredible achievement. My hearty congratulations to you, Milind. I still remember the first time I met Milind. I was still a guest at Speech Weavers, and he left an indelible impression on me. A magnetic smile, warm greeting, which was so genuine, you just couldn't help but return and reflect the smile back. He's such a passionate Toastmaster, passionate amongst the passionate Toastmaster, leader, marathon runner, and a public speaker. Despite being the director of legal affairs at Cognizant previously, he never once had any airs about him. Down to earth, warm, with an invincible thirst to learn and improve at anything and everything. He also was our former president and and if you ask me about the various leadership projects he took, they are endless. Just to name a few, he's mentored many clubs, including Intel Talk Masters. He's participated in Toastmasters Leadership Institute programs, LEAD program, just to name a few. If there's a need for somebody to volunteer at our club, if there's an unfilled role in our club, Milind is always there to first lift up his hand and tell, I'm open for that role. It doesn't matter whether it's a grammarian's role, a sergeant at arms, or an arcounter. He's always there, ready to occupy that role and give it his best. And I must tell you, he does a fabulous job at it. I remember once he was a sergeant at arms. It's a very small role, and the Toastmaster of the day was a huge role, and he managed to win the best role taker. Just imagine the creativity he applied. He fondly calls me the grammarian of our club, the default grammarian, and I feel really blessed to be called so. And consults me every now and then. Hey Deepa, how is that word pronounced? How do you use that word? And one more thing that I want to tell you is that if there is a word of the day in our club, and however difficult, however complicated it is, you are sure to hear the word of the day being used by Milind if he's there in the meeting. Now, Milind is an exemplary learner, always there, taking feedback obsessively. Even if he's the general evaluator, he makes sure he wants some feedback. And it doesn't matter if you're a newbie or a veteran Toastmaster, he always wants to know how he's doing. Now, if there is a phrase with which I can describe Milind, it definitely has to be enthusiastic learner. Toastmaster Milind, you've completed a whopping 40 speeches, ticking all the leadership projects. You've set a really high benchmark for us. I wish you the very best for the future. And I must tell you, I'm most eagerly waiting to call you Distinguished Toastmaster Milind. TTM Milind very soon. So proud of you, Toastmaster Milind. Everyone, Here's a toast to Milind.
Well, thank you, Deepa, for that amazing toast for Toastmaster Milind. And yes, really he deserves a toast after the amazing speech today, and of course, completing the milestone of 40 speeches and finally achieving the ACG. Great. So this completes the prepared speech section for today. And it's time for us to move ahead with the second phase of the meeting. And one of the most fun sessions of any Toastmaster meeting, which is called the prepared speech section. Regarding the prepared speech, we have our table topic or the table topic master. And the name of the person is Ashwin, Toastmaster Ashwin. I'm going to give a quick introduction about Ashwin. He has been born and brought up in Kerala. He's currently working with HSBC Bank. This is his second innings with Speech Weavers Toastmaster Club. He joined the club in November 2017 and was part of the club for 7 months, after which discontinued because of work location. But yes, right now he's back at the club and he will be the table topic master. So over to you, Toastmaster Ashwin.
Thank you, TMOD. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from whichever location that you have joined from the planet. Table Topics is one of the most challenging and exciting sessions of the Toastmaster sessions. Table Topics, in fact, it is actually specifically designed to develop essentially four communication skills that we have. One, listening. Two, thinking. And three, organizing. And four, speaking. All of this, you have to do it within 1 to 2 minutes. And that's what makes it more challenging as well as exciting. The theme for today is related to be a winner in life. I have tried to put some quotes or topics which are related to that in the session. And just for the benefit of the guests, so the timing would be from 1 to 2 minutes, and the timer would be showing the signal, the green signal at 1 minute, and the amber card at the end of 1 minute and 30 seconds. And by the end of second minute, he'll show the red card. So within 30 more seconds, the speaker has to finish the topic. So without further ado, let's get started. Do we have any volunteers? Or should I pick somebody randomly? Okay. Let me just pick then randomly.
Ashwin, Fidel wants to take it.
Who?
Fidel.
Fidel. Yeah. Hi, Fidel. So let me also try to share my screen. So Fidel, for you, the topic is winners are not people who never fail, but people who never quit. Over to you. Over to you, Fidel. Fidel, you there?
Great. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are now.
Sorry, I was on mute. Have you ever watched a baby learning how to walk? At first, they pull themselves onto their feet and they're very wobbly and they fall over, but they stand up again. And then they watch how grown-ups walk and they try to imitate them. They see a grown-up going upstairs and they get to the stairs and they also try to get onto the stairs. And whoops, they fall. But they get up again. And babies never, ever give up. They keep trying and they keep trying because their parents look at them and tell them, keep going, don't stop. You can do it. Babies learn how to walk by trying and failing in an encouraging environment. And that is what Toastmasters is. An encouraging environment where all of us can learn how to speak from the stage where we were crawling in our speaking to the stage where we're almost flying in the way in which we communicate with the people around us through the encouragement and the support of everyone around us. Winners are people who always keep trying. Failure is nothing but a step on the journey towards success. Over to you, Master.
Thank you, Fidel. That was an amazing speech. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Let's move to the next one. So let me, any other volunteers do we have? Jenny, you there? I'm just picking somebody from the participant list. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me share the topic. Your limitation, it's only your imagination. Your limitation, it's only your imagination. Jenny, over to you.
Okay, just hang on. I need to move my screen back. Oops. It's a bit hang. Okay, I'll try. Okay, I'm not too sure how you're seeing me. Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Yeah, because I have a double screen, so I need to shift it back to my main laptop.
Yeah, you're quite clear.
Okay, can. So the topic again is your limitation is your, sorry, I'm not used to WebEx. I can't find that. This is my first time using the WebEx, so that's why pardon me.
It's okay. So I've just removed the share. Is it visible now? Your limitation, it's only your imagination.
Okay. Okay, good evening, Toastmasters of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Jenny from District 80. Your limitation is, okay, sorry, I missed the question again. I'm not used to doing this online. Okay, your limitation, let me write down. Sorry.
Your limitation, it's only your imagination.
Your limitation is only your imagination. Okay. I am not a very imaginative person, so I'm always limited by what I think I can't do. And when I started to change my mindset, okay, and I start to allow my mind to explore, and I realized that, wow, I can do, and I can do it really well. So, I used to think my limitations because, so I believe that, what you can't do is because you're not imaginative enough, you're not bold and courageous. So be bold in your imagination, be bold in exploring, experimenting, and to realize that, sometimes your hidden talents is actually just nearby. It's just waiting to be exploded. So, do not be bounded by what people say, not be bound by worldviews. Just be bold and courageous and brace up yourself, push yourself up and step out the faith and then making sure that, first your mind has to change. And when your mind changes, okay, the world is really borderless and, your opportunity is really to be found so nearby and it's exponential growth that you may not even imagine yourself. And I sincerely encourage on, do not be limited by what you think, but go and pursue it, okay? Take action and can do it. Thank you. Toastmaster, back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jenny.
Sorry.
Thank you for that interesting take on the imagination. Okay, so let's move to Okay, and the next one on my participant list, I can see Joseph Benedict, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Let me just share the topic. So winning takes talent. To repeat takes character. Winning takes talent. To repeat takes character. Over to you, Joseph, sir.
Hello. Am I audible too?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Okay. Generally, our intention is to always go for a winning, never to lose the race. So, with that intention, we always try to go ahead with our goal. Sometimes it may happen that some obstacles could likely to stop our aim or our winning positions, but we will not yield because our character is that winners are always have to put their effort and hard work in getting into the goal. That is called the winning of the goal. So never come back and say, never step back and say that it is not possible for me to go ahead. So we have to strive hard so that our aim has to be fulfilled so that we will not disappoint ourselves. At the same time, we will win the goal. That is our aim and that is our lasting impression to win the goal. Over to you.
Thank you, Joseph, sir. Thank you for the nice speech. Okay, so
Ashwin, Shannon is there. Shannon, our member.
Okay, Shannon.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Okay, let me just share the topic. Okay, life is 10% what happens and 90% of how you react to it. Life is 10% what happens and 90% of how you react to it. Over to you, Shannon.
Good evening, Toastmasters. As the topic, life is 10% what happens and 90% of how you react to it. It depends on what type of person you are. If you are someone who is really sensitive and who gets affected by small things, then you would be like thinking lots of it about okay, what people are going to think and what they are going to, like they'll what that how you'll have the fear that you'll be judged on behavior or that sort of things. So it is everything is in our mindset. We need to be, we need to be confident that like I mean what others think should not affect you. You should be you should have your self-esteem high, and yeah, so
Green.
that's what matters. Be confident in whatever you do and don't overthink what others will think and what others have to say about you. It's for everything, everyone has their own story, so nobody is going to think about what you're going to do. So that's what I have to say. Yeah, over to you,
Yellow.
Toastmaster. Yeah,
Thank
over to
you.
you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you.
Vidyudas, you want to try?
Hi everyone. Try on the same topic.
No. TT Master will give a different topic.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, one sec. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Okay, so if you only do what you can do, you'll never be more than what you're right now. If you only do what you can do, you'll never be more than what you're right now.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Before I start, I'll just try to tell a little bit about myself. I am Bidu and I'm joining in from Mumbai. I was invited by Mr. Srinu sir, and I'm thankful for him. It's great to see you guys. I have met Deepa and Vandana previously. Good to see you again. Congratulations, Milind sir, on your achievement. And fellow members, a very good evening to everyone. So the topic, so can you just display the topic on your screen for now, just I can.
Yeah, is there?
So if you only do what you can do, you will never be more than what you are right now. I'll again take the help of a baby's example. When a baby grows, he starts learning different things. He starts seeing different things from his elders. He starts imagining things in his own mind, and he starts achieving one thing after the other. It's the same process, you know. Suppose he starts, it's the same process. He starts to learn to how to walk. He starts to learn how to run, and he does that. And there are no limitations towards it. Once it sets a limitation that this is a thing that I want to reach and stop there, that's only when he stops. But if he keeps on increasing the limitation, the goal, then he obviously would be trying harder and trying persistently towards the newer goals.
Yellow.
If I give a, sorry?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. If I give a personal example, I have been trying out different things. Post college, I have been trying to get into different societies. I have been trying to do different physical activities, run a marathon. So these are things which we do because we feel that we have to do something more. So to conclude, I would like to say the same thing again. If you, I need the topics. Yeah.
Red.
Yeah. So to conclude, I'd like to say, if you keep on doing what you do, then you'll obviously be binded by your own limitations. So you have to stretch your limitations, and you have to pursue that in order to keep doing newer things. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vidulas. Do we have any other volunteers?
Yeah, Navya is asking.
Okay, Navya, for the next, let me just share my screen.
For those who don't know, Navya is Ashwin's wife. I hope you have not shared the topic beforehand.
No, not yet.
No, she only prepared the topics.
Sorry. Okay, so the topic is, if you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. If you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito.
Good evening, Toastmasters.
Yeah, go ahead, Navya. We can hear you.
Good evening, Toastmasters. I'm sorry, something happened with my keyboard, and unfortunately, that happened from my side, my end. Ashwin, please share that topic.
Okay, so are you able to see the screen?
No, it shows a white screen.
Yeah,
Then it's my screen. Just a second.
Okay, is it visible now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so if you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. If you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. Over to you, Navya.
Is she there?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm not getting his voice, her voice.
Uh, to win, everybody needs effort. If you think we are small, we cannot make a difference. We have to keep, set some goals in our minds so as to achieve our goals. Sleeping with a mosquito it is very very difficult. The whole night we don't get a proper sleep. So in order to scream so in order to achieve our goals, in order to make some differences in our life, we have to um, put efforts from our end, a continuous effort from our end, and keep on going. That's all from my end. Back to Toastmasters.
Thank you, Navya. Thank you for the speech. So do we have any more volunteers?
Yeah, Ashwin, time up.
Time up. Okay. So thanks all for taking participate in this wonderful table topic session. I really enjoyed giving the questions. I hope you also enjoyed answering those, giving those 1 to 2 minute speech. That's it from my side, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day, TM Subhadeep.
Well, thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashwin, for conducting the table topic session. Now, finally, we are moving ahead to the final phase of the meeting, which is nothing but the evaluation. Which is, like I said initially, it's one of my most favorite session because this is where you get to understand how the speech has been, how the overall meeting has been. So, in order to conduct the evaluation section, I would request once again the GE of today, who is Toastmaster John, to take up the stage and introduce the evaluators one by one so that the entire evaluation can be done. Thank you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. This session consists of 3 parts. The first part, I will introduce the evaluators. The second part, I will invite the language evaluator and the grammarian to give their reports. I will then give my report, and then I will ask the R counter to give her report. I have been going through, making notes all the way through the meeting, and there are some things that we'll be discussing at the end. So let's start straight away with the evaluations. We've had 2 good speeches, and I'm sure we're going to get some very good evaluations from our evaluators. So the first evaluator is Toastmaster Van Daan. She is going to evaluate Toastmaster Milind on his 15 to 20 minute speech. Now, the speeches are 2 to 3 minutes. At the second minute, the green card will be shown. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the amber light will be shown. And at 3 minutes, the red light will be shown. and the evaluator will then have 15 seconds to round off the evaluation. So first, I would like to call Toastmaster Van Dam to give the evaluation of Toastmaster Milind. Over to you, Toastmaster Van Dam.
Thank you, Toastmaster John. So I had the privilege of evaluating, listening actively, taking notes, organizing my thoughts, and presenting to you the speech of a wonderful speaker talking about how to listen effectively. How many times have you written a detailed list for a friend or a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend where you go in detail and you want to buy this, and then you give like specific details of, okay, I want lady's finger, it should not be too ripe, it should be medium, it should be soft, and then how many times do you get adequate result of the perfect bindis to cook? Yeah, so this is how important. And Milind, you did a great start. You are genuinely the enthusiastic leader, as Deepa truly called you. Humor is great to connect with the audience. But I think the introduction where you spoke about how you were asked to buy coriander, but you turned up with cauliflower. I think you paused a bit too much in that particular start. But you were quite clear. Your vocal variety is your strength all the time. You were quite comfortable with the audience. It is a very good topic because it is something that all of us as Toastmasters, try to achieve when it comes to table topics, when it comes to evaluators, any tag roles, how to effectively listen and present and, be focused, move away from being distracted. These are skills that are truly needed. But I would say you would have to work on your audience awareness. One suggestion is, why don't you try the same speech, maybe with a different audience, but with a presentation? Like, how much more can you connect? Because with online speeches, we have a tendency to disconnect from the screen. So how can you also use your gestures when your angle of the camera is from below, but you're angling in the direction of the camera? Your hand gestures were angled differently. How can you look effectively into the camera? How can you not act like it is being read out? So can you keep the notes that you are probably referring to at an angle that is alongside the camera, so that you're connecting directly in terms of eye contact with the audience? I loved how you spoke about faking it, nodding expressions. This is something that we do in all classes, about conditioning, how we shut off ourselves from noises that we don't like, our parents shouting at us. But when it came to the question answer session, I had the opportunity of asking you something. How can you effectively make sure that you answer to the point and keep it more crisp, so that you can give more time for other people to try and give a question? Your ending was spectacular. Alcohol, a drink, James Bond, listening all together. Awesome, Milind. A big hand of applause. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vandana. The next evaluator is Toastmaster Yasmin. She will be evaluating Toastmaster Deepa, and it is the same timing as the first one, 2 to 3 minutes, 2 green, 2:30 on amber, 3 on red, and then 15 seconds to round up. So over to you, Toastmaster Yasmin.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and yes, today I will use an evaluation method to evaluate Deepak's speech called eco-friendly. E stands for emotion, C stands for connection, and O stands for online delivery. Having said that, Deepak delighted us with a great host to Milind. Throughout her eye contact and her voice variety, we could feel the emotion and the excitement she felt for Milind's achievement. She walked us through Milind's Toastmaster career the different roles he took through the years, as well as all the achievements he had through his career. The toast was well prepared and organized. Deepak provided us with very detailed examples of all the roles and as well as the achievements of Mili. The objectives were achieved for this project. However, I would like to take this evaluation to the next level. Now that we are sessioning online, we have to be aware of many different things, such as the position of our camera, as well as how we position ourselves with respect to the camera. When we give a toast in real life, we usually standing up in front of our audience, and it is totally different compared to being in front of a computer. But it is very important to, let's say, Deepak in this case, she could stand up, she could be a little bit away from the camera so we could see the upper part of her body, and I think that will transmit more emotion, and it will also allow us to see her hands, her gestures. The second thing that I would like to point is the time. I think the speech was from 2 to 3 minutes, and it went up to 4. So that's something we could keep an eye on it. Overall, it was a great toast. I really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to see your next project. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you very much, Toastmaster Yasmin. As we can see, there's two very good evaluations there. I would like to call on the timer to give the times, please, for the evaluations. Timer?
Yeah, for just a minute. Yeah, thank you so much, G. So, Milind, this speech was 17 minutes 42 seconds. I think it was extended by 72 seconds. And Deepa's speech was 3 minutes 20 seconds, which is less, I guess, by 1 minute 40 seconds. And evaluator Vandana, his speech was 3 minutes 20 seconds. And Yasmin, as an evaluator, 2 minutes 45 seconds. Table topics for Joseph sir, 1 minute 18 seconds. Shannon, 1 minute 32 seconds. Bindu Das, 2 minutes 20 seconds. Jenny, 1 minute 54 seconds. Navya, 37 seconds. So I think for table topic, Navya is disqualified, and Bindu Das took quite a little bit time to introduce yourself. I think you should focus on your table topic only. And thank you, Srinu, our president, for helping me out due to unprecedented incident of power cut. And over to you, G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mayor of the timer. I would like to call now on the language evaluator or grammarian to give their report, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster John. So I was very disappointed that I haven't heard, I didn't hear anyone use the word of the day. Oblivious. You did? Oh, okay. So great. So Mayur, thank you for being, I'm very
that power cut was.
I'm glad you did that. So the thing is, oblivience is something that we could actually quite use because we are all unlearning. So even Milind speech spoke about it, but I was hoping he would use it. Some great usages were penalty, hearing and listening, effective listening, Chinese whisper, psychologically, encoding, bombarded, empathized, further ado, propose a toast. We are Toastmasters, but we hardly get to use that. Invincible thirst, enthusiastic leaders, airs around him, even whichever location you join from the planet. Great, Ashwin, I love that. Self-esteem, not so great usages that I could talk about was that sort of things. I think those things or these things are a right way than that sort of things. Increasing the limitation, you should say decreasing the limitation, because you're trying to remove all the limitations, removing or reducing. TM, I think with Toastmasters, we should time the way that we speak by expanding to TM as Toastmaster, whatever said and done. Throughout his career, through his career should be throughout. And some, pronunciation, agree and disagree should be agree and disagree. When to there should be when there. Empathy should be empathy. Perspective, it should be perspective. Not an imaginative person. It should be, it should be not an imagination person, should be imaginative. And yeah is not the, we should go like, yes, thank you, and go ahead. So let's all work on improving our language. Let's practice obliviscence to bringing in the new and get on with whatever comes our way. Over to you, Toastmaster John.
Yes, I'm afraid I was oblivious of the word of the day. I will now give my report. I will leave the R counter to the end so that she can check my use of fillers. So I will start off with my report. There was a check-in before starting around 6:12 that I attended, which is very good because there's a lot of times when you do come straight on, time is lost in checking certain things. So I thought that was a great start to the evening. I got there around 7:15 my time, and we had another little check-in before we started, which was again. There was a very good table topics session. I like to ask the table topics to send me his slides so that I can use it in my own club at some time.
Sure.
There was some good questions there, which I thought, as you said, listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking, they had to think about those. So I thought that was an excellent table topics session. And all the table topics people that actually spoke, I was amazed how good they were to actually from their topic that they were speaking on. So they actually nailed it. And I'm trying not to use what English people use, and that is slang. So I'm trying to be, you might find me a bit slow, trying to think not to say any slang words. This is the first time I've actually been in India. I understand you're at Bangalore Speech Weavers. I would like to come again at some other time, just to get to know you all over there. And I invite you, I become the president of my own club on the 1st of July. So you got an invitation to join us. We are usually the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday of the month. And we are going to go online consistently, because as a new president, we are a face-to-face, but I want to get online as well. So we will be offering online as well as our face-to-face. A couple of things that I feel you could improve. There was no agenda. I was a little bit lost because I didn't know where I was. Normally when I've gone to a meeting, I can download and print off an agenda, and then I can work from the agenda, because on the agenda there's all the timings. So you can actually follow the timings as you go through, and I can see the time, who's got what time. Does the like mine, is this 5 to 7 minutes? Is it 10 minutes? Or is the opening 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes? Is the SAA going to take 2 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes? So if we had an agenda, if you had an agenda, it's a lot easier for people to actually follow and see what's actually happening. And then you've got, say, the table topics, they've got 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, you can get 6 people to actually do table topics. There were some technical, what I call technical problems. For some reason, I don't know if it's my screen or other, but it kept going green. A lot of the time, I just got green, and it was when we had the speaker, one of the speakers, Milind, half of that speech, all I saw was a green screen, but I could hear him, so it was good that way. Where possible, I'm used to Zoom, and I'm a Zoom man. This is the first time I've been on this FedEx, is it? It's FedEx or something like that.
Yes, it's WebEx.
Yeah. So it's the first time I've been on here, and I will go back to Zoom. I find it's a lot easier on Zoom. There was it's like on Zoom I could have gone to gallery view and all of your boxes would have been up in front of me. I was trying to look at people and I couldn't see. I can only see about 6 people on here across the bottom or some up the side. If there was a gallery view, on a gallery view, you can get 25 people up on the screen and you can see everybody on the screen, sort of thing. And then on Zoom, you just pin the video. The person who's speaking pins the video. So they've got the timer in front of them and they then change to the different colors, which makes it, again, a lot easier. So it's just one thing to look at, to see if you can look at on Zoom. When you are talking, as you can see, I've got quite a bit of light behind me, so you can see me quite plainly. If you're going to do a speech or you're called up to a speech, make sure that we can see your face. There was one person, I could not see them because it was dark. It had a light behind them, but the shade from the light, it was dark. So I could not actually see them. So I couldn't see any facial impressions or anything. The other thing is, if possible, if you're speaking and you're pulled up to do the table topics, have your video on. Because speaking is not just about the voice. Speaking is about the expressions, the way you're using your body language, the gestures. So you show those when you are actually talking. So it makes it a lot easier for people. Apart from that, I think there's a very good time. I would not have spent this any other time but here with you. So I thought it was a very good session. And I look forward to coming back and doing another session at a later date. So I will now hand over. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, timer. I will now hand back to the R counter. If you could give your report, please.
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. This is our counter report. For Jenny, sorry, okay. These words were repeated a couple of times, and pauses were there in between the speech a lot of times. For Shahan, words like yeah, were repeated a couple of times, and pauses were there in between the speech. For Bindu Das, words like yeah, were repeated a couple of times. Over to Toastmasters.
All right, so is that... Sorry, have you finished our counter? I now hand over back to the Toastmaster of the day. I've finished my session here. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, John, and all the role players in this meeting. My dear members, give a big round of applause all the speakers, role takers, and especially our brilliant guests. Yeah. Fidal gesture. Okay, thank you, Fidal, for reminding that ultimate gesture. Okay, now, with that, before closing to the meeting, today's theme is be a winner of life. Just only, Milind is asking for photograph. Okay, so if you want to be winner of the life, wherever you are, take one step further. That's all I want to ask. If you are able to run 2 kilometers, take that third kilometer into consideration. If you are able to take 30 push-ups, take that 5 more push-ups. If you are not able to do anything in certain area, just start with a little, give a little trigger point. That's all. Rest will fall in place automatically. Automatically, you will be the winner in your life. With that, I'm closing this meeting 562. Thanks for joining us. Let's turn on your video and Mayur, can you capture the picture?
Yeah. Once everyone camera is on, then I'll take.
Hello, everyone on?
Fidel?
Everyone clap. Finger clap.
Finger clap. What's
Yes.
finger clap?
Done.
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 Thank you. Congratulations, Milind, for raising the toast.
John is also ready to do the toast.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a wonderful week. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.
Have
a good day.
Stay healthy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Nice
everyone.
to have all of you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.